Life Management Science Labs would like to acknowledge that we live and produce this podcast on the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people. We'd also like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands of our listeners and our international colleagues. We'd like to pay our respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. Hello and welcome to Reloscope, the Relationship Science Insights podcast produced by LMSL, the Life Management Science Labs. We are champions in life management science, providing structured insights informed by science and inspired by practice on key aspects of conscious living. Each week we bring you scientific and practical insights on each element with the expert knowledge of professionals in the field. I'm your host, Aditi Kutty. Let's get on with the show. Welcome back to Reloscopes, the Relationship Science Insights podcast. I'm here today with Emma Chi, who is a creative counsellor based in Auckland in New Zealand, so just across the pond. Welcome, Emma.
Well, thank you. It's so nice to see you.
It's lovely to meet you as well. We're going to be talking today about the benefits of open communication and relationship ideation, which is, I feel like relationship ideation is a term I'm not very familiar with. So I'm interested in learning about that today. Quite keen.
Yeah. It's kind of like an academic atom. So not many people are familiar with this atom.
Yeah, for sure. I guess that's kind of what our whole show is for. We're going to be asking you all of those nitty gritty questions and figuring out exactly what it is. But before we kind of talk about that, I wanted to ask you, do you want to tell like our audience a bit more about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, sure. You already know my name is Emma. I'm working as a counselor for 7 years, so in different countries. Currently, I'm in New Zealand. About my education background, I actually got my master degree of psychology from Massey University and got my counseling degree from Auckland Uni. So that is basically my education background. But I really love use different ways to help my counseling services, like use arts or like cemeteries. So lots of things. I think counseling actually is a way for people to know each other, and also it's for you to meet a new you, a different you. So I really like my job. Yeah,
that's such a great way of putting it, like for you to meet like a different version of yourself, and I'm assuming a healthier version of yourself as well.
It's hard to say, actually. It's kind of like an adventure. You meet a counselor, different counselor. For some people, they might meet like 5 or 7, counselors to see which one is the right one for them. So actually they need to, when they to meet the, right one, actually they need to meet the wrong ones first. So I can't say they are all healthy for everyone, but it depends. You can see it as an adventure. So you need to, be brave to try new things, to meet new you. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Before we kind of launch into our topic for the day, we've got a section called Have You Met Emma Chi, in which I ask you a few very quick questions about yourself. Are you happy to answer them?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Fantastic. What is your favorite book?
My favorite book, I would like to say the neurotic personality of our time. So that is written by Carrie Horney. So it actually is kind of like an academic book, but it is very, you can also say it's an easy book for everyone to read. Even you don't have psychological background, you can also read it. For this book, when you read it, you can meet yourself. You can find yourself in this book, like your behavioral models and why I love this color, why my partner loves this color. So it's kind of like help us to improve our awareness about ourselves and our partner. So it's very good for you to learn yourself and your partner. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's really awesome. Another one to add to my personal book list as well. What about a movie? What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie, I would like to say Coco. Do you know that movie?
I do know Coco. Yeah.
Yeah, the animation movie. I really love that movie. The Michelle his connection with his nanny really, touched me a lot. Maybe because of my personal experiences. Another reason is like this movie is really help us to gain an idea about the intimate relationship, especially the intimate relationship in our families will shape our own identity and destinations. Like for example, Michelle's mom, like how she treats Michelle. So yeah, I think that's Miguel. Not Michelle.
Miguel, I think, yeah.
Yeah, Miguel, yeah. Like why Miguel loved music and how Miguel loved her nanny. So you can find all clues from this movie, like how the love in the family will influence our own behaviors. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Coco's such a great movie. If anyone who is listening or watching hasn't seen it yet, you should definitely go check it out.
Yeah.
What about a podcast that you've been listening to lately?
Podcast that I'm listening recently, probably the Where Shall We Begin? Yeah, that is one hosted by Esther. Yeah, that's her name. She's a very experienced therapist and counselor. So actually, I love this podcast because Esther can give lots of different ideas about people's relationship issues. So every time when you listen her podcast, it's kind of like you attend a master class in interpersonal or communication skill. I really learn a lot from her podcast. Another reason is like for this podcast that it involves lots of real world examples. And yeah, it gives you a rare and raw insight into intimate relationship because there is unscripted sessions about a couple's relationship. Yeah, that is really awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's Esther Perel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Who's a famous role model that you have looked up to either in your personal or your professional life?
Role model. I hope my answer wasn't bothering you. I would like to say Oprah Winfrey.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying like her as my role model because of her her overcome like an adversity. Yeah, I mean her story is really inspiring. But for me, I really love her life philosophy. Like you can tell from her book, Mr. or Mrs. Just Right. She believes there is no Mr. Right. Mrs. or Mr. Right doesn't exist. So she believes like people should let go of the unrealistic expectation about, Mr. Right or Mrs. Right. So everything is just right. Everyone has its own strengths and weakness. So it's another reason is like she in her this book, like she believes you must learn yourself first before you love others. So if you know how to love yourself, you know how to recognize your own strengths and weakness, you will recognize other people's weakness and strengths. Then that's the chance you can love yourself and others. That's the relationship she believes. I really love this philosophy.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I agree very much with I agree with all of it, but especially the second half of that, learning to love yourself before you can love other people. I really resonate with that, and that you have to kind of, one, figure out who you are and then like enjoy your own presence, I think, before you can enjoy the presence of others.
I really like that. Then she believes because you know yourself, then you will meet the right you, then you can meet the right person, Mr. Right or Mrs. Right. Yeah, that is because you are the right person.
Yeah, that's so true. I would love to keep talking about Oprah with you, but I've got to move on to the final question of the segment. What's the last course that you completed?
The last course, I don't remember actually, but I would like to say the family therapy. Yeah, in Auckland Uni, I really love that one. It gives me a clear idea about the dynamic of relationship in family. So you can see the circle, happen. you will definitely find someone is similar to your father. Well, that is, I don't believe that at the beginning, but in the end, you can tell like how your family shape your relationship type. Like, oh, that's why this person is my type. That's why I don't like that person. So you can tell actually there are lots of reasons just rooted in your family relationship. That is so real. So yeah, I would like to say I love that family therapy, that course.
For sure, for sure. Well, thank you for answering that segment. We've gotten to know you a little bit better now. You're known, so we can move on to our main part of our show, where we talk a lot about open communication and how open communication helps develop relationship ideation. I wanted to start off very broadly, just to kind of contextualize our discussion. How do you define a relationship, especially a romantic relationship?
Define relationship. That is kind of like an academic question.
Yeah.
Okay. Technically, like a relationship is definitely association or connection between, maybe two people or more people. So it involves lots of different forms. But for a romantic relationship, it's kind of like it also involves exchange, like your values, your expectations, your beliefs, your experiences. So that is romantic relationship. For that, I mean, apart from your exchange those stuffs, it also involves like sexual part, physical part, emotional part. It includes lots of different parts actually. So but for my idea, I mean that's a boring answer. Then for my idea, personal idea, I would like to say it's kind of like a song, especially the romantic relationship. This song is full of intense feelings, like it has ups and downs. So sometimes when you found this song, you really love this song. Oh, it's so amazing. When you listen to this song for a while, you think, okay, you know every word. It's kind of like your partner, their special habits, or why they love that. So then you listen that you put this song on your playlist. You listen it like maybe every day. Then you kind of like feel it's boring, but you still love it. And someday when you heard this song again, oh, the same feeling comes. So that is kind of like the romantic relationship for me. It's like a song, but full of intense feelings. Sometimes make you just want to dance, close with some special one. Sometimes, it gives you like, okay, I want some time to just alone time. So that is relationships for me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a great metaphor. And it's a song that you just know really well. And it might get a little boring, but that doesn't necessarily mean you stop loving it, or that you won't rediscover the same feeling after a while, for sure. I love that. In your opinion, does a relationship still hold the same like meaning as it did decades ago? How do you feel they've changed?
It definitely changed. I mean, the public opinions towards relationships, especially romantic relationships. I think I would like also use metaphors here because it's boring. Like we only say like academic way. Decades ago, I think a relationship is more like a basic flip form. They have like a clear cut limited functions. For example, people meet, people marry, then you start a family. That's it. You don't have much choices. And then currently, the relationship is more like a new smartphone than the past. You have lots of choices and lots of applications, lots of updates, and yes, of course, lots of bugs and glitches. Yeah. So I'm not trying to say which one is more important or which one is better. Actually, for current relationship, I think it allows people to have more room to do, personalization. they can choose different ways or different relationship cultures to meet their own needs and desires. So that is definitely different from decades ago. So yeah, but there are still the same things actually remain. No matter it was decades, years ago or currently, the mutual respect, love, and communication remains a fundamental. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I guess how kind of going into our topic for today, we talked a little bit like what is relationship ideation? And I'm happy for you to get very academic with the definition or give us a metaphor, whichever one you feel is best to kind of describe what it is.
Relationship ideation, it involves like ideas, beliefs, values, like one have about the relationships. This views also includes like the roles individual play in the relationship, and also the power dynamics and the communication styles. So for example, like what do you believe is a wife? Or what do you believe what is a husband? What husband should do? What a wife should do? So people have these ideas so they can talk about with their partner. So actually, I think it's a relationship involves three entities. Like one is you, one is your partner, another one is the relationship. So when you talk about relationship ideations, it may include those three entities. Like, what you believe, what your thoughts, what you values, what you expect. So that's basically, I think, that is relationship ideation.
So it's kind of like how it's not so much related to your partner as it is how much you expect a relationship to be in the future. Like, or is it tied to a specific person that, like, does it change based on the person you're with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mainly, partly it's based on you, but the relationship involves two people there, right? So you are the master here. Yeah, like how do you believe, for example, me, what I believe a wife should be, then what I believe a husband should be, then what I believe a relationship should be. But I need to talk those ideas with my partner to see if we are on the same page. That is relationship ideation. Yeah, it's kind of like harder to explain, but for us, we need to remember that you need to figure out your ideas first. Yeah, so that is more about you, like what is my boundary. So I definitely can't accept cheating on me. So that is the foundation of your idea about a relationship. So you need to figure out that first. Then you ask about your partner's idea. The exchange process will be the your discussion about relationship ideation.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess how does open I want to start first of all, what is open communication? I think that might be an easier question to start with.
Yeah. For open communication, that is actually a very brave decision, actually. People, okay, I should answer this first. So open communication looks like you are brave enough to tell about your thoughts, your feelings, your needs, honestly and clearly. So it's kind of like for example, when you are trying to sell your house, you can't tell others, look, that is my house, buy it or not. That is not open communication. You better invite the person into the house, telling them, okay, you see, this is the living room, this is the kitchen, this is the bathroom, this is the guest room, and this is the decoration style, and why I love this decoration style, blah, 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 those stuff. That is called open communication. You can't tell them, okay, just love me or not, this is me. That's it. Yeah, so that is not open communication. You better tell them, okay, I love this and why I love this. And for example, I'm a dog person, why I love dogs, and do I hate cats? No, I don't hate cats. Yeah. So you you need to tell your partner, okay, this is me, why this is me. That is called open communication. And that is not actually an easy thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess in the context of like relationship ideation, it's you need to have open communication with your partner in order to have an accurate idea of what your relationship with each other is going to look like and whether it's going to work.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I what are kind of does open communication change over the course of a relationship? Like, have you noticed things change as you kind of get more and more serious with each other or spend more time with each other?
Yeah, of course, like the open communication, this idea changes through the course of relationships. I mean, for example, at the beginning, people are more like trying to tell their partner about themselves, like not everything, mainly the good thing, the positive stuff. Like, okay, I'm educated, I have a decent job or something, blah, blah, blah. And I love dogs, I love cats, and I love coffee, or I'm a tea person, something. They try to do more exploring, so to see if other person is interested in them. At the same time, they will try to, create chances to learn more about their partners. So that is the open communication at the first beginning stage. When the relationship comes to the mature stage, so people starts to talk about serious things like the shared responsibilities, like long-term relationship goals. And also, like, how should we deal with our conflicts? So those stuffs means they are really serious about this relationship. And when it comes to if the relationship goes on, so when it comes to the advanced stage, it means actually you can tell maybe people don't speak about verbally. Sometimes they use nonverbal to show themselves. Like you can understand, what your partner means, like the meaningful silence, or when you see them just one look, or what they want. That is also open communication. So at a different stage of the relationship, so you will tell the difference of the open communication. Yeah, that definitely every stage open communication has its different forms and challenges.
Yeah, for sure. I guess what kind of questions should you be asking during this relationship ideation process when you're trying to figure out a shared vision for your relationship? What questions should you be asking your partner?
You mean exactly questions?
Yeah, like what are the things that you should be thinking about? Like what shared values should you be discussing? For example, you were talking about how at the beginning of the relationship it might be something as like surface level, like, are you a dog or a cat person, or like coffee and tea, like it'll be stuff like that. But as you kind of get deeper into it, you're talking more about how many kids do you want? Stuff like what where would you like to live? Where would you like to make a home? Stuff like that. What are those at that stage? What are the things that you should be asking each other? What should you be trying to find out about both yourself and your partner?
Yeah, actually, for the first stage, there is a beautiful tool we can use. Like you can search that through Google, like 36 questions. Yeah, just use that as the two keywords. You will figure out the 36 questions. Yeah, so it saves you lots of time, and you don't need to figure out, okay, what exactly question I should ask myself or my partner. Yeah, people will, it's easily for people to feel stressful about that. They are worrying about hurting their partner's feeling. What if we are not on the same page? But these 36 questions, it kind of like they ask questions in an indirect way. So it's good for you to practice on this. And I also recommend repeat those 36 questions from time to time. Maybe twice, once a year or once 2 year. Yeah, it depends. Actually, this 36 question is actually based on research. So it means help you to quickly understand the word one person, maybe in a short time, like a 1 hour, though you will know lots of things about this person. At the same time, during the answering and asking process, you will also get an idea about yourself. So the good part is like at the same time, you understand what you want, and you also understand what your partner wants. Yeah, that is for the first stage of the relationship. When it comes to the middle and advanced stage, that things should be more personalized, because some questions will pop into your mind. So we can't give like a fixed idea here, but mainly it's about what relationship is, what a wife is, what a husband is. Like it's all about the family actually, because if you want it to be a long-term relationship, you definitely have lots of things to think about. Then make a list about that, and also ask your partner to make a list about that. Then you two can exchange that, find a right time, a right environment, a place to discuss about that. Yeah.
What are some of the common barriers to open communication? Why do people find that difficult?
Yeah, first of all, open communication is pretty good. But if you don't use it in appropriate way or right way, it will, damage the relationship. First thing is we need to understand everyone has their own communication style. Someone might be more direct or straightforward. They can tell their feelings and their needs directly. You don't need to worry about that. What they say is what they want. That is easy, actually. But for someone else, they may be more, indirect, more subtle. They are not good at speaking themselves out. It's not about they don't want. It's just that they don't know how to say that. So we need to pay attention to that and respect the difference. That maybe it's hard for my partner to speak up or to speak his needs or find his needs. So I need to give him more time rather than push them out, force them to say, oh, what do you want? Why you can't just tell your needs just like me? What's wrong with you? So it's not right, actually. So we need to respect the difference. People will have different communication style. Another thing is maybe this person is good at speaking themselves out, but something happened. For example, their last partner, their last partner didn't give them a good response about that. So they think, okay, maybe I should not do that. So I should pick, zip. So that for that thing, for the past trauma or for this thing, actually it's easy. If you know what's happening there. So just to be more patient. Yeah, they will back to the right person. They will speak themselves out. The thing you need to do is show your patience, let them know you are a different person. So you can help them to express themselves out. This place is a safe place for them to speak their needs out. Yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really important point because you can communicate yourself, but if you're not actually listening to what the other person has to say, or if you're not being listened to, it's kind of there's no real point in saying what you need to, right? It's a give and take.
Yeah. You remind me. Actually, it's very important for people to really listen. Especially during the open communication. It's quite normal for us not listening, just planning our response. So yeah. So actually, there is a difference. Just listen, what your partner is saying. Just pay full attention to that, not planning your response. Yeah.
What do you feel for people who struggle to communicate themselves? how can you what would you tell them to help them get better at communicating themselves to their partner?
Um, Help themselves to speak themselves out. Um, Actually, yeah, that is the difficult part. Actually, they cannot just do it by themselves because this is a relationship. So their partner definitely have to do something towards that. Yeah, like for themselves, they should realize, this is a new relationship. This is not the past relationship. The how or the history is the history. It's in the past. So currently is a new person, and they can pay more attention to the person just in front of them to see their communication style, like if they tell their needs directly or not. So they can make a decision to what to do. And for their partner, if the partner know what's happening in the past, the partner will actually, offer a safe place for this person, like letting them know, okay, currently is a new partner, you have a new partner and you have a new relationship. You can try to see if I'm the right person. Yeah. So that is actually involving relationship management. If it is hard for this person or for this person partner to do that, maybe it's a time to seek a professional one to help you too. Sometimes there are lots of things just need to be processed. So it should not be anyone's burden. Actually, you should find a counselor or therapist to deal with that. Then you can have this new relationship.
Yeah, and I think like a therapist, a counselor, someone with the training to actually help you communicate better, ask the right questions, and also they're detached from the situation. So in in the instance, that you are trying to come up with a vision for your relationship and it just so happens the vision doesn't align, I'm sure that can result in some pretty, I mean, feelings get hurt, I'm assuming, right? In that
Yeah,
process.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's true. Even for the new relationship, people are also worrying about, oh, am I gonna hurting my partner's feelings? Should I say that or not? Yeah, yeah, that is the part we really need to improve our communication skills, like use affirming language. Like actually, I think everyone, has the gift to make a conversation or communication. Is just trust yourself because your love and your trustful attitude will influence the whole environment, influence your partner's attitude to speak themselves or not. Like this attitude is actually affects our relationship. One example is like, are you really listening and are you planning your response? So that is actually an attitude factor in this part. So for our communication, when we speak ourselves out, you will value your partner's speaking, like appreciate what they said. I mean, if you are disagree with that, but you will also be grateful. Oh my God, she speak herself out. You are not thinking about,
Yeah.
is the right answer. No, you are not thinking about that. You are just a bit grateful, like, oh my God, it's a good chance for him to speak himself out. Yeah. So just to use a forming language when you try to make an open communication with your partner.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Thank you for answering, I guess, all of those questions. That does bring us to the end of that main part of the show. And I want to move on now to how we can put everything that we talked about into practice and how we can apply it at home. So this segment is called the practice/habit experiment debrief. And I guess I wanted to start it by asking you, Emma, what's a practice that either you have done or you have recommended to a client to improve yourself, to improve your communication skills, especially in the context of developing this shared relationship ideation?
Um, for that, during my experiences, I actually would recommend the two games for my clients. Actually, that's my favorite two games. Um, for example, like one is switch roles. I don't mean the one, in the bedroom, but just in the, normal life.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if you are the one normally pick up children and your partner is the one prepare the dinner, well, for that day, switch roles to see what, do life. Yeah. Because I know it's about relationship ideation and open communication, but it is hard for people to, grab this abstract atom. But when you use this game in their practice life, they started to know, okay, that's the life from my wife's perspective.
Yeah.
Oh, that's her life. Okay. So they started to gain ideas about what they want, what their partner expects, and what a relationship is look like from another side. Yeah. So that's yeah. So I mean, after this game, the main part is talking about that. Like, how do you feel about that? Okay. Oh, that's what a wife does, what a husband does, and you do it in a different way. How do you feel about that? What do you think a wife is? What do you think a husband is? So the first part is switch roles, and the second part is just to make a summary. So that is, because of the game, you have some materials to talk about. You definitely know your normal life. Then you get an idea about your, another idea about your husband's life from your perspective. So that is a good materials to talk about. Another game is like set up a King's Day and a Queen's Day. Like, actually, if you want an easy version, that would be like just to set up one King's Day. Like for example, I will set tomorrow be a King's Day for my husband. So I will treat him as a king. Yeah, in my way, what I think a king should be treated. So I will do that for him. And the same thing, I will pick a day as a Queen's Day, like once a month. So he will treat me as a queen. So yeah. And then we will discuss, okay, what you do is very good, and what you do is like, not that good, but I really appreciate it. So actually there is a fun way to do this King's Day. Like you two can make it have more fun, like widgets on everything. Like play like a crowd quiz and board games. Who wants credits more can say, okay, tomorrow may be a Queen's Day or tomorrow is a King's Day. That one has the right to say that. So you can have more fun about that. The same thing is like after have the King's Day or the Queen's Day, you two can discuss that. Because it's hard for people to speak themselves out verbally. Some people really don't know what to say. They don't know what their needs are. They really don't know. So through those games, they can figure out, oh, that's what I need. Oh, that could be a need. So they can discuss more. That is, they can use those games to help them develop relationship ideation. Because at the very beginning, people may have no idea about that. So that definitely have something to help yourself to gain those ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I like both of those. I really like the idea of swapping roles in that, like, especially when it comes to chores, I think kind of just when you've been, especially if you've been in a long-term relationship with someone and you kind of just found your rhythm and that, this is the stuff that I'm meant to do and this is the stuff, like it just works for like whatever schedule that you have, like swapping it around and seeing how, you find doing something different, doing something that they normally do is, uh, I think, a really interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah. It's also to help people to break new ground, and you don't take it everything for granted. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Are there any challenges with taking on that the first one, at least the swapping of the roles? Because I can already think, often the division of labor is based on people's work schedules, like their career schedules. When are they going to work? When are they coming back from work? Who's working closer to, if they have children, who's working closer to school and can pick them up on the way back? Stuff like that is based on convenience. I'm assuming that's kind of one of the challenges, is that if you're swapping roles, even just for the day, it suddenly becomes even more inconvenient. And yeah.
Yeah, that's the idea actually. That other person, let another person to know, like, what do you do for this family? Without you, they have to do those things, right? But because of you, you take this responsibility, not only because of we see convenience as a big reason, but also behind the convenience is like, I would love to do this for my family. That is the love, actually.
Okay.
I do this not because of convenience, but also because of you. So that is like the reason, like we would like to switch roles. Without this person, you have to do this by yourself. Then you don't need to take all the things they done for you as granted.
Yeah.
And another thing is, like, I would like to tell my clients, you can, like, you better need to have some, agreement beforehand, before like you do everything. Like you can do everything on your own way, and everyone should not judge their ways. There is no way to compare, what happens to the way things already being done. There is no comparing here. So that is the normal things should be paid attention to before everything, before the role changing thing.
Yeah, for sure. Based on your experience, would you combine, I feel like this is almost a combination of practices, and that you do the role swap and then you talk about it afterwards. Like it's a you have to do two of those things. But would you combine both of those with anything else to maybe improve how that functions?
You mean combine this game with after this game, the how to talk about how can we make an open communication about that?
Yeah, so like when you've done both of those things, right? So you've done the role swap, you've communicated with each other about how it's made you feel. Is there perhaps a third thing that you would combine with it to make to improve on this practice?
To improve this practice. I'm not quite sure about the third thing. But during the open communication, I mean, if you want to talk about relationship ideation, you definitely need to pay attention to your communication skills in this process. Is that what you want to ask?
Yeah, no, I think that's, definitely. Definitely. Would love to hear more about that.
Yeah. I think when you start to talk about that, it's very important to find right place. Yeah, I mean, when I say right place, it means like a safe environment. It's a place for both of you to feel safe and relax. You can like say, okay, after the game, let's talk about, immediately. No, not like that. Maybe give yourself, a cup of drinking. Then maybe only two of us in this house, so we can talk about the things happened maybe yesterday or the day before yesterday. So when you are free and you feel safe and relaxed, that's a very important thing. So you can be more, open about yourself, and you can be more available for your partner. Another thing is like when you, generally speaking, I mean, when you're trying to express yourself or listen to what your partner is saying, just to be honest, but still like tactful. I mean, you need to pay attention to your words, your tone. I mean, it's not a chance for you to speak yourself directly. Oh, I got a permission to hurt you. I got a permission to speak myself out directly. I don't need to care about my tone, my words. So you should not be angry if I say that. It's our open communication time. No, like that. Even in the communication, open communication time, you should also pay attention to your language you use and your tone. Do it in a gentle way because, we are not trying to finish some tasks. We're trying to enjoy the communication. Like you are trying to understand your partner, right? You are also trying to express yourself. That is the aim, not like, oh, we're trying to finish this task fast. Yeah, so not like that. So yeah, pay attention to your language.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I think that makes so much sense. And that I think sometimes with open communication, one of the misconceptions is that I can say what I want and then you have to listen because we are communicating honestly and openly. It's like, you can be honest, but like nice about it. You don't have to, try to hurt your partner this way. It's not an opportunity to do that.
Yeah. That's actually is one of the big mistakes like my clients always make. They say, okay, we started it's a open communication period. You should not be angry, okay? No, like that. Yeah, you should be respectful. Yeah, I mean at the same time, honestly, but tactful. Yeah.
Yeah, tactfully for sure. Well, that brings me to the end of the experiment debrief. So thank you for answering. Sorry, I was doing the asking, you were doing the answering. Thank you for answering all of those questions. I am now going to move on to our open mic segment, in which I give you the opportunity to have a mini TED Talk about whatever it is you feel was important to discuss, that perhaps we're coming to the end of our episode. So was there something that you wanted the audience to kind of know to help kind of close this out?
I think open communication, this topic is very important, and we really need to raise the awareness, public awareness about that, because people are always like, they don't talk about the relationship ideation. They think, they don't know how to do that. And they are also afraid, okay, maybe I want a long-term relationship. Well, my partner, he seems like he only wants, a short-term relationship or hook up. So yeah, we better don't talk about that. No, it's not like that. I mean, even the things is like what I'm saying before. You are definitely, gonna be hurt. Anyway, so for that, you better to talk about the relationship ideation. It's kind of like you jump into a car and you don't ask about the destination. You just, okay, I have a ride. That's it. You have a relationship, okay, maybe you call it a relationship, but is it? So, I mean, for open communication and relationship ideation, you can talk about your own ideas and ask about your partner's idea. I know it's not the easy way, but do it. Then you will know you can handle it. We just like the scary feeling, master our own behaviors. But if you can open the communication, at the first beginning, then you can get a lot of gifts from there. Then, for example, you tell the driver where you want to go or what you expect, and then the driver where they want to go, right? Then you get an idea about your personal goals and your relationship goals. You can make a compromise. I mean, you don't need to set up the final destination, but you two can work together to set up the next destination. Yeah. That's I know it's not an easy thing to do, but once you master this open communication skill and learn how to talk about relationship ideation, you will get a lot from it, and your relationship will be one that you really enjoy. Yeah.
And I think you raised an important point at the beginning of that, which I don't think we got to discuss enough, which is like, you might end up having values that don't match your partner's, and then you have to have a very serious conversation and spend time thinking about whether you can move on, whether you should continue with the relationship or find someone else, end things there and find someone else. And I think, communicating is kind of that first step. But like you said, it's still not an excuse to kind of be mean to each other or be rude to each other in the process. You still have to be kind, even if it seems like you're not going to get the answers that you want.
And yeah, exactly. And it also gives you, time to prepare for what you want, to prepare or plan your future. I mean, even you don't have you two are not on the same page. I mean, maybe you want a long-term relationship or your partner only want a hookup or short-term relationship. But currently, you know what they want. Then you know how to prepare, how to prepare yourself for that. Maybe just enjoying this relationship or, it's ready to move on or when to move on. You are ready for every possibility. That is amazing, right? Yeah, you do everything, you can master that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, thank you so much for sharing all of that with us. Where can people find you if they want to, get in contact?
Actually, they can find me through LinkedIn, or you can just Google me. Like use Emma Chi. Maybe you can add another keyword like psychology or counselor. Then you can find me. Most of my links there.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Emma. I've had such a lovely time chatting to you today. I've learned so much. So thank you for joining me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's also good to talk with you and everyone. Yeah, so nice. Yeah.
You've been listening to Reloscope, the Relationship Science Insights podcast produced by LMSL, the Life Management Science Labs. For more episodes like this from 10 different life management perspectives, search LMSL on YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify, or wherever you find your podcasts, so you can get updated on everything we have to offer. We have a wide range of topics readily available for you to check out. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider rating our show, sharing it, and subscribing to our channel, as it helps us grow and bring you more quality resources. More of our work can be found at re.lmsl.net, where you can join our movement. I'm Aditi Kutty. Thanks for tuning in.